right? So if it's going to be, then it's up to us. If we want to change the coaching space, if we want to show people, look, there is real people. I like to call myself like the real deal. Because I've had people say that this to me before, Andy, like you're fresh of breath air. You really are the real deal. Like you're not just somebody that's downloaded blueprint and regurgitated it or put in their own methodologies. You are somebody that really cares. You are somebody that really shows up for their clients. You are somebody that actually really gives a shit about their clients. So being called the real deal. And I believe that each and every one of you here, you're also the real deal. Right? So if we want to show the world that you are the real deal, if we want to show the world that there is people in the coaching space that has integrity, that's leading with integrity, that's really wanting to help people, you are wanting to really build this business, you are really wanting to make a change, you are really wanting to hit your sales goals as well, because again, business is both sides, then it's up to us, right, to make it happen. So here's what we need to be pushing ourselves out there to do to change the coaching industry and also to grow your business. And it's this, right? So again, I know Valerie's seen the sales nervous system. I know Vicky's seen the sales nervous system. This might be a different look or feel of it. I've just added more to it just to simplify it, but also just to bring everything into, shall we say, one pot of like the system that drives everything. Just before I share that, just quickly stop sharing my screen. Sales is inevitable. And I want you, it's like, there's not a lot there, right? There's not a lot to unpack apart from just believing, right, that sales is inevitable. If you losing weight is inevitable if you do the work. Going to the gym, getting shredded, getting fit is inevitable if you do the work. Guaranteed, if you do the work. Right, Valerie, you used to be a pro body sculpture athlete, right? And you know, in order to get into that prime physique position, what did you have to do?
I work like a blooming idiot.
Right?
Day, night, no excuses.
No excuses. You did the work. No excuse. But you do the work, and then what happens?
I got shredded.
You got shredded. You do the work, you get shredded. If you go on a diet to cut out weight and you stick to that, what are you going to do? You're going to lose weight. All results are inevitable. All results are guaranteed if you do the results. Right? Agreed. Do we agree? When it comes to sales, most people are not willing to do the work. That's the problem like with a lot of coaches. Most people are not prepared to do the work. I don't know if you've ever read, and I've got it somewhere behind me, I think it's on the top of my piano, Steve Pressfield. He's got a small book called Do the Work. Most people today, they're lazy asses. Most people today, they're looking for a quick buck. They're looking for that blue pill to swallow to instantly give them the results. Most people today, they're looking for that quick fix, looking for that easy solution. Stop looking for that quick fix. Stop looking for that easy solution. Stop looking for that pill. Right? Do the work. I went, 2 seconds, Vicky. I went to the gym yesterday morning at 4:30, right? And I walked out of the gym dripping wet through with sweat. Most people who walk out of the gym don't, because they're not doing the work in the gym. They're either on the treadmill, plodding along, watching television, right? Watching morning breakfast, whatever, right? Then brain's not in what it is that they're doing. And they don't do the work. Or most people are on Ozempic, is that what they call it, right? They were looking for a quick fix. Don't be that person. Look, I was listening to anybody listen to PBD podcast, Patrick Bet Davis. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But very, very, very successful guy, multi-millionaire, come up from absolutely nothing. But yesterday on his podcast, he was talking about he doesn't look for easy solutions. He doesn't look for quick wins. He looks for the hardest path to get to where he wants to go because of who he becomes in order to get that. And then when he's there, right, what he's built is built on foundations, and it's not going to go away. Because he's in the trenches doing what he needs to do. And that's the level that we play at when we make sales and when we do what we do, because we're not just looking for a funnel. We're just not looking to enroll people on a back-end email sequence. We're building a real business that's come from real prospecting, that's come from real leadership, that's come from generating real conversations, that's come from really showcasing your expertise. Because most people are not doing it this way because most people don't have real expertise. You feeling that, Susan? Yeah, most people don't have real wisdom to share. What it is that they do is not really built on real foundational principles. You're on mute, Susan. Do you want to say something?
Oh, yeah. Hey, hi, Vicky. So, yeah, a lot of people don't preach what they teach.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Vicky, you were just going to say something?
Yeah, it actually ties in better with what you said now, because you mentioned Ozempic. About 8 weeks ago, I was sick to death of people saying to me, because I'm clearly not built for speed, I'm built for comfort. People saying to me, "Oh, you ought to go on to Ozempic. You ought to go on to Ozempic." I can't take it, even if I wanted to. But I got it about me at that point and was like, actually, I'm sick to death of people telling me I ought to go on a slimming injection, which I have no intention of doing. So spoke to my trainer, said, "Why am I not losing weight?" And she said, "Well, you're clearly eating too much," which I didn't like hearing.
Yeah.
But over the last 8 weeks, so it's only been 8 weeks, I've committed to sticking to what she suggested, and I'm 30 pounds down. So that's kind of proof of the pudding, isn't it? That when you actually, and I feel great, and it's it's been brilliant, but I wasn't committing. I was half-assing it. So I wasn't committing, I was going to the gym, but I wasn't eating. I was trying to out-train a bad diet, and it wasn't working. So now the two in conjunction, and it's magic, isn't it? It's not, but it's proof of the pudding that if you commit to something properly, then it does work.
Well done. Congratulations. And I bet you feel amazing. Keep that up. Right?
Oh, I will. I am
obsessed with that.
Pardon?
Become obsessed with it.
I have become a bit obsessed with it, to the point where now I won't eat anything that's not actually going to take me closer to my goals, whereby historically I've always been that person that'd be like, "Oh, the bit of cake won't hurt," or "the takeout won't hurt," or but I'm not that person anymore. It has been a real mindset shift for me. I am now, actually, it's all, again, lots of moving parts, because I was feeling quite crap about myself. I wasn't actually showing up in the best way. I have noticed that I'm getting more people connect on a deeper level now. So I haven't actually made any big sales, but the change in my confidence and how I feel about myself, because I'm not, like, almost a bit embarrassed that I am, like, just not bothering, has actually made a lot of difference. I've got a call at 2:30 with somebody who I've been giving insights to, who is interested to hear more. So it has made a difference, big difference.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And like the way that I'm going to be moving forward with a lot of clients is, yes, people hire me for, oh, look at that. Thank you. The only reason why people hire me is for sales, right? Full stop, ending. But how amazing would it be if I can help them to really shine and show up in that sales moment, right? As their best self, right? Not just mentally, but physically, right? So to be a power player, but not just in business, but life in general. To take ownership of, to show up in every aspect of your life as that power player. Because if you're not a power player in this, in here, but you're trying to show up as a power player in here, then there's a disconnect. And then life's disjointed. And then there's no balance. But if you can start your day in your body, right, and do something physically for yourself first, right? That's starting the day the right way for me. Starting your body, right? Get that heartbeat up. Go for a walk, whatever it may be. I like going to the gym. I like doing both. I'm not going to say what to do, but start your day inside your body. That's then going to fuel up into your brain, right? And then when you start business on a better level, on a high level, to attack the things you need to attack. But then how is that going to ripple across into your relationships? Or how can you better show up in your relationships as a power player? So you're leading with integrity through all aspects of your life. You're leading with leadership through all aspects of your life. So then there's congruency. You're leading with congruency. You're leading with integrity. You're leading with real leadership. There's a lot of people out there, fake it till you make it. Right? It starts with you. Change in every aspect. But it starts within you first. For everything to change, it starts with you. You need to lead first. You need to go first. And like you starting with your right way, Vicky, that's you drawing that line in the sand and you leading. I think most people as well, most people forget, and most people are not consistent with it because they forget, because they don't become obsessed with it. Right. So what can we do so we're not forgetting and we're letting normality creep back in? Because you're creating a new norm. You're creating a new norm for yourself right now, aren't you? You're creating new standards. You're creating new levels. You're playing at a higher game. So every day you need to be reminding yourself of that every day. So you're stepping into that and you're creating that new norm. So it's about coming back to what I was saying earlier on, like doing the work. So if I just reshare the screen that I had on, maybe that's the wrong screen. There we go. Right, so going back to what Vicky's doing, Vicky now has got a protocol, and that protocol's proven for her to lose 30 pounds. So proof's in the pudding, right? Pardon the pun. That if you carry on doing what you're doing, Vicky, what's going to happen? You're going to lose more weight.
I'm going to lose more weight. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to feel better.
Right.
And the ripple effect is already huge, but it's going to be bigger.
Absolutely. You stop doing what you're doing, or if you start to introduce other things into that, or if you lose your focus and you think, this is better, I'm going to try this, then you shift the protocol that is being proven to work.
Yeah, and that's been a previous mistake, I think, with life and with coaching, is I've already had so many people say to me, oh, I'm worried about you. you're losing it too quickly. You need to live a little. Have a piece of cake. It's your birthday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. I don't need cake. You know, all is good in my world. I'm not under eating. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not injecting myself with chemicals, you know, so don't be worried about me. But that has shifted my attention before, because then I'll start to question, oh, are people worried about me? Am I doing the right thing? Maybe I should have the cake. And it's the same with this. And I have allowed that to happen before as well. People, oh, you're too pushy, or you're too, you know, you're too whatever it may be. You're
Vicky,
too
you are
loud.
here to be pushy.
Yeah.
You are here to be pushy unapologetically, because you know what you are is what other people need.
But I've allowed that to dissuade me before, whereas now, because my confidence is in a different place, I'm in a very different place with all of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think it is very easy to get wrapped up in that. And I know by my own admission that I have, you know, I have allowed that to happen before.
Yeah.
But now I am in a very different place, both with health, wealth, and happiness. And it has that ripple effect. You know, it's like, because I work with people with making money, obviously. I know people that have a lot of money that are bloody miserable because all of the rest of their life is kind of misaligned. They're not actually, it's not filtering through, it's just about the money. But then I know people with less money who are really happy because there's that fulfillment element as well. So that's kind of what I'm working with at the moment. So, but no, if I stop doing it, if I eat the cake, if I have the takeaway, if I listen to other people's BS, then I'm going to stop losing weight, and I'm not going to accomplish my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like the nuance of what I will get into is that you've now got your own blueprint to what works, right, for yourself. And I'm not saying that's the same for everybody, but you've now got a blueprint that works for you. You change that blueprint, you change your results. You work that blueprint, and you get obsessed with that blueprint, you get the results that you want. So in every aspect of your life, there's going to be a blueprint that's going to help you to get that result. You do the work in that blueprint and in those protocols, you're going to get the results. And business and sales is no different. Business and sales is no different. So if we do the work and we stick to the protocols of what we need to do, and we simplify what we need to do in order to get the results, and you prove to yourself that this works, then you're going to get the results that you want. Right? This is what works for me. This is what works for some other clients. And this is based on centuries of how businesses are being built. No different. So if you are obsessed about generating the results that you want, right, become obsessed with the rhythm of this pathway. And if you just implement this each and every day, and you don't overcomplicate it with other things, and stick to this, then you're going to get the results, and the results will be inevitable. Because the way that you're showing up is totally different to the way that anybody else is showing up. So each and every one of you have got a presentation. That presentation designed to disrupt the marketplace. Is designed to position you at a high level beyond the marketplace. It's designed to showcase to the marketplace that what you have is that full solution that's based on integrity, that's based on leadership, and is based on simple steps. Right? So it's your duty, in order to get that presentation in front of as many people as possible. That's your duty. That is your responsibility. And the more people that actually see that experience that feels that, you're opening yourself up to more opportunities to, one, change in the coaching industry, two, having a bigger impact on people's lives, and three, building the business that you want and earning the money that you want. Right? So it's like, if you know at the core of core, in the heart of what you do, really, really, hand on heart, changes the lives of other people, right? It's your duty to become obsessed with spreading your message with the world. Agree or disagree? Agree, right? Because if you don't, how is that going to make you feel? You can all unmute yourself.
Crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you've heard it before, right? Oh, I'm going to plagiarize that because I've totally forgotten. Somebody, you'd probably be able to help me. Regret weighs in tons as, what's the phrase? Have you heard that phrase?
I have.
You have, I forgot it, so I'll not dwell on it. But basically, imagine like getting to your end of life and being on the deathbed and regretting knowing that you'd got the power, right, and the opportunity to change people's lives, but you're not done it.
Discipline weighs ounces and regret weighs
That's the one.
tons.
That's the one. Repeat that again, Vicky.
Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons.
Yes. Discipline weighs ounces as regret weighs in tons. Have the discipline. Vicky now is developing this discipline, this internal discipline and this strength to change the body, to lose weight. Building a business requires discipline. Having been laser focused and saying no to everything and just saying yes to what makes a difference. Yeah. So if we know and on how what we do changes lives, and it's our responsibility to step up, to play a bigger game, to put ourselves out there on the limb, to take risks, right, to push harder, to make this work. So if you've not already, right, set yourself a challenge. You want to be delivering your first 30 insights in DMs as quickly as possible, which is bringing people into, Susanna, we're going to have a session on this anyway, right? Because you've got the presentation, now you need the systems behind the presentation to be able to grow the business so you can see the metrics, right? So we'll be injecting this into your business. So let's deliver those 30 insights as quickly as possible. Those 30 insights, when you've got people into honeypot number 1, you'll be able to see money inside your business. So you'll be able to see where your money is. You'll be able to see. So if you're selling at $5,000, that's 5,000 times 30. Come on, Vicky, you're the money queen here. $150,000. Right, so you'll be able to see there's 100. You've delivered 30 insights. As 30 people say, yes, like share this with me, share this wisdom with me. I want to know, right? I'm stuck with this problem. You come into my inbox and you say you can share this with me, and I've got this problem, share it. So 30 people say yes, that's $150,000. If you're selling at $5,000, that's $150,000 sat in your business in potential clients. There's going to be a percentage of those if you invite them onto a call, onto a demo call, which is just a 15-minute, 10-minute call. And let's say that 20 of those people jump on a call, because why wouldn't they? Because the incentive of coming on a call is going to be what they need. Then potentially that money then moves into your honeypot number 2, which then you potentially you've got 80,000 people sat at that level. And then from there, there's going to be a percentage of people actually jump onto a full-blown sales conversation. So you know where money is sat inside your business. So when a lot of clients, a lot of coaches say, I don't know where my next client is coming from, that's because they don't have a system that's allowing them to see where their next client is in their pipeline. And they're not building a pipeline at this level. Or they don't even have a pipeline. All right, so this is really allowing you to see where money is sat inside your business and where your next client is coming from. And all the cadence is simple, right? As a coach, we're showing up to lead. As a coach, we're showing up to share wisdom and to shine light and to put you on the marketplace and show people what it is that you do. And we're pushing people from honeypot number 1, and we're driving them from there into honeypot number 2, into honeypot number 2, into honeypot number 3. And then from honeypot number 3, what are you going to do? And maybe this is also going to happen in also honeypot number 2 as well, is that you're going to invite them to work with you. Right? So business is just a very simple cadence. It doesn't have to be complex, as simple as this. But it means for us to play at this level. Most people will not play at this level because most people are trying to remove themselves away from a sales conversation instead of leaning into a sales conversation. Most people are trying to remove themselves from sales. And you've seen that. I'm going to build a webinar. You've seen that. I'm going to create a sales page. You've seen that, right? No, you are your sales page. You are the sales. You are the webinar. You are the voice. Does that make sense? So if we've got a skill set, if we've got leadership, if we've got a goal, and we want to like 100% make this happen, then this is where it starts. This is the level we need to play at. And not just one day, not just 2 days, not just for 1 week. Like Vicky, you can do whatever you're on. You can do it for a week. If you stop doing it next week, it's going to stop working. All right? People in business, it's like, well, I'm going to try it for a day. I'm going to try it for a week. I'm going to try for 2 days. Third day, nothing worked. So I've got to start and try something else. Too many people are giving up too soon. Why is that? Because they're weak. Because they're weak. Because they're not really showing up with real leadership. Because they don't have standards. And again, going back to Vicky, and probably Vicky will experience it at some stage, like when you first start something new, especially with weight, you lose a lot of weight quite quickly because it's something new that you've done, and potentially you lose a lot of water from your body. So you do see a big influx in your weight, but then things start leveling off and things get a little bit harder and you don't see a lot of shift. So then people think, oh, it's not working. Well, you've just got to keep it up. All right? And it's the same with business. People are jumping ship too quick. Instead of like becoming a master at prospecting, become a master at delivering insights, become a master at delivering demo sessions, become a master at sales calls. You're already masterful. You've already mastered what it is that you do as a coach in your own area of expertise. Now become a master at business, become a master at sales, become a master at prospecting, become a master at closing deals, become a master at handling objections. But this simple cadence, very, very quickly, in the next 30 days, can totally change the path of your business and the path of your life. Insights, demos, and sales conversations. And it can happen as quickly as that. What we're picking up What's landed? What are you thinking? And I know you have to go, Vicky, soon because you got to call it past.
Yeah, what you say, that results are inevitable, and I love the metaphor that you use with losing weight. And again, everything when it's visible, it's so easy to understand and kind for people to believe. Though if we talk about the results, even though we don't see them in the invisible, it's where
Yeah.
people surrender and they let go, because it's that they don't see it, right? But again, it's believing it and then seeing it instead of seeing it to be able to believe it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's really it's and the metaphor, using Vicky as an example, it makes so much sense, because it's what it is. You start a week, you see the results, and then if you stop, then the results go away too. So it's exactly the same with what we're doing with our coaching business. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thanks. Good.
And just to pick up on that as well, here's what I see that happens quite a lot, is that somebody might get to 10K a month, right, and think they've absolutely made it, and then they stop doing what worked, and they think, oh, I'll try something else now, and that something else doesn't work, and then they're in this spiral again of, oh, it's not working. Well, you know, you stop doing what works. Go back to grassroots foundational of business, because that always works. It always has worked, and there's no and nothing's changing, because the way that business works is how it's always worked. And yes, there is ways to leverage. Yes, there is ways to just create leverage, right, for scalability. But right now, you're not ready for that. You're not there yet. You know, there's ways where you can create freedom from doing aspects, and you can get to that point. But right now, it's like, just immerse yourself into what works. Immerse yourself into becoming obsessed about serving, showing up, showcasing your message, screaming your message from the rooftop, like unapologetically sell. Unapologetically sell.
It's a process, right?
It's a process. It's a process. We're not dimming our lights. We're not dimming our message. We're not seeking permission, because leaders don't seek permission. Leaders lead regardless of what the outcome is, of what the reaction is. Yeah, but she came back and she jumped in my message and says, well, you know, that message really didn't land with me. Okay, well, you're never going to become a client. Move on, next. We're not here to people please. If you know that your message and what you do is what people need, you keep beating the drum, regardless of what people come back with.
Yeah, and also what I've seen with the clients that I have had up until now, that I've been talking with them sometimes, and I think I was the same for you, Andrew. Like, even though they didn't react or they did say no, then finally afterwards they can even still come and work with you, right? I see that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We had a long conversation, right? We had a long conversation, and I didn't pressure you, right? But I led with our conversation, and I drove our conversation forward, because I knew at some point you was either going to tell me to piss off, or you either going to fall one or two ways, right? And either way for me would have been fine.
Well, it'd be fine, yeah.
Right? That would have been your decision.
Yeah, and I think also what Vicky said, like, either ways would have been fine for you, because your mindset is in such a place that you can lead through that differently, like Vicky just said. It's the mindset shift that now makes her being able to navigate through those things way different. I think that's a point too, right? Like, okay, if you join, amazing. If you don't join, hey, that's okay too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You are in your own lane.
Yeah.
Right. And you just need to be focused, laser focused on the path and the direction that you're going. And whilst you're walking that path, there's going to be many different people that you'll meet that try to throw stones at you, that try to pull you down their avenue, that try to say speed up, slow down, don't say this. Right? You've got to be, what's the word? obsessed about what you do, your message, your path, your destination, and you walk down, you follow your truth.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's being stubborn. Right? It's being stubborn, and it's okay to say no and just stick to where you're headed and what you do.
I think one of the things that changed for me was when I was in the States recently and I had several messages from, and as we know, just for context, Suzanne, Andy's worked hard on me, moving me away from people who I shouldn't have been working with. And I'm there now, but I was getting messages from these people who had been in my circles previously going, oh, it's okay for you gallivanting around Miami when I can't afford to. And it's like, actually, do you know what? I've given you all the tools, but you've put one post out there, it didn't land, so you've not taken any further action. And that almost started this chain of events for me saying, do you know what? Actually, I need to serve and not save. You can't help the unhelpable. And there will always be somebody who's wanting to, forgive my language, but it's who I am, piss on your parade, regardless of where you're at. And, you know, I've even had people say to me, oh, we loved you, chubby. You don't need to lose weight. No, but it wasn't serving my health, you know? So, yeah, oh, you know, doesn't matter what body size you are. And it's like, no, but it was mattering to me. It was making me feel, yeah, it was making me feel lose my confidence. I wasn't feeling great. It's helping hold me back in lots of
Yeah.
ways. So, but there will always be somebody who doesn't want the best for you. But if you stay super focused, then ultimately it's up to us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely up to us.
Yeah. And it's about us raising our standards, raising our own
Absolutely.
standards, leveling up, not accepting normality, right? Which is hard for most people to push beyond that. Because as Vicky's experienced, like a crab climbing out of a bucket, there's a lot more crabs trying to
Throwing
put
it back
the crab
in.
back down, right? And the world is like that. The world is like that. And it's hard to raise your head above the parapet, to create a new norm, to raise standards, but to maintain those and to make those new standards your new norm. But that's what we need to do. And it's if I want to build muscle, I've got to put pressure on my existing muscles, right? I've got to rip those muscles to rebuild those muscles. And that's tension. So I've got to put tension on my body. So you will go through stress, you will go through tension, and you will feel it. But that's you adapting, that's you growing. Most people are trying to create something with ease. You've seen it everywhere, right? $10,000 a month with ease, without chaos. You're building a freaking business. Come on, but the world has got soft. The world has got soft. You speak to anybody that's doing 7 figures, 6-figure months, they didn't get there with ease. They didn't get there without discomfort. They didn't get there without upsetting a few people. They didn't get there without, you know, it's not about upsetting people for upsetting people's sake. It's just about you sticking to your path and just like being focused. And some people will get upset, but that's on them. That's not on you. They're just not part of your journey. If they want to follow, let them follow. But you're the leader. Don't let them get in your way. Valerie, anything you'd like to share?